Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some Dota 2, or DTOA 2, Destroy the Other Ancient, because that's what it's all about here in the SEA Qualifiers for Captain's Draft 4.0. My name is DragonJob, Gareth is back as well, and it's time for TNC vs Mineski. Finally, some would say.
Yes, finally. Sorry, I just had to close my door very quickly. Airplanes are flying over, and I was like, no, need to remove as much of that noise as possible.
Oh yeah.
Not sure why we had a pause there from Mushi, but he has graced us with resuming the game at long last. But hey, Dragon Drop, there's a new hero in the pool.
There is. Some would say it's an OP hero. All the way down there, hiding in the bottom left, the Dark Willow. So I wonder if it's gonna get banned out. Yesterday we saw it come through and do quite some crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, it was X-Nova playing it, right? They played
so, yeah.
support Dark Willow and pretty much just set up every fight. Ridiculous amounts of control, tons of damage. Probably gonna get banned here. I mean, we'll see. There we go. Removed from the pool. Oh, Mineski don't want to be dealing with it. So otherwise, you know, I do like to kind of you know, go through roles and see what kind of heroes we have for different kind of laning configurations. Support-wise, there's, you know, AA, there's Skywrath, Ogre, Bounty Hunters out there. Offlane doesn't look too bad either. There's like a Tusk that can shift between like 4 and 3. Omni Clock, Earthshaker, there's Pudge. So there's plenty of 4 heroes, a handful of offlaners. But there aren't that many kind of strong lane-dominating mids going to be left in the pool. You know, there's Tinker,
Yeah.
Quap, Arcwarden maybe, but Viper. Are they going to let these guys through?
What do you think of the new Viper, by the way? Like, because he had some changes, 6-second cooldown although on level 1 poison attack, and also have this Barossa skin, which is a splash active kind of thing.
Yeah, we saw, was it Matumbaman earlier? At Dota Pit, he played a spellcasting Viper. He bought Veil, Dragonlance. I think he got the Kaya at one point. I can't quite remember, but he got Veil as one of his primary items and was just doing so much magic damage. Then with the 8% spell lifesteal you get, so your level 10 talent, Viper is an amazing magic damage dealer.
Damn.
So we in fact get all of these mids left in the pool. So we could see a Moon Tinker. You know, the old Nana Tinker, very, very classic. Clockwork is out there, which is a little bit annoying. But there's even Venom and Mushi's Spectre has been left in. I'm kind of surprised. But I guess with only 3 bans, Ice Monkey is pretty good to ban. Lich is pretty good to ban.
I gotta prioritize there at some point. So Ricky first. So how do you deal with that actually? Do you just really pick the Bounty Hunter as kind of semi-counter?
10 seconds remaining.
You could go for Bounty. Clockwork and Tusk don't work too badly either. You know, being able to kind of save people out of out of the smoke cloud, but also just being able to kind of trace Ricky in the early stages of the game, carrying a dust and making sure that you play that, you know, sentry versus sentry game. Yeah, they go with the Clockwork, and it also keeps it open, right? Because this could be a 3 Clockwork, but it also could be a 4. You're never quite sure at the start of the draft where it's heading, and with these mid heroes left in, Queen of Pain gets through.
Yeah. Very solid, very strong in really most matchups against the Tinker in the earlier parts of the game.
5 seconds
Mineski
remaining.
still want to go back for that. So, wanna grab it out now. But now it's 2 more heroes available for Mineski and the Skywrath Mage. Alright. It's a bit of a counter, to some extent here with the silences. Queen of Pain is gonna have to itemize against that. But also, at the same time, very vulnerable to a hero like Clockwork.
Skywrath Mage is level 20 talent. Global concussive shot.
Yeah.
300 gold per minute at level 25 as well. I kind of want to see an Ice Skywrath Mage. Give it some farm. I mean, we have seen mid Skywrath before. Skywrath is a very speedy hero as well. I could see Ice playing it. But is this going to be a Jabs Ricky? Like, did Ricky get changed much?
He has this weird level 25 talent, which lets him attack without being revealed.
Yeah.
TNC
Enemy units in smokescreen have no vision.
Oh wow, I
I
missed
go with
that.
a Jab's Tusk.
Interesting.
Backstab damage can now be used in procs like critical strike, cleave, etc. So the bonus
Wait.
damage from backstab can be, you can crit off it.
Oh wow.
So this could be a core Ricky then.
5
Could be,
seconds
yeah.
remaining.
Got that in the pub the other day, I believe. Use, but that would explain it quite a bit. Yeah, just go to the back of a creep wave, cleave it down in 2 hits. Sure.
Yeah, easy.
We have the task
So-
as well, so it's a little bit of mobility that for Roamer potentially. Bit of a setup for Scarif Mage as well with the shards later down the line of the ultimate.
This is kind of hard here though. Like, do you pick Omni? And you go for the Ogre. I was thinking about some way to save someone from the Scarth from the Tusk, right? And there's only really Darkseer to buy, you know, like Greaves, Pipe, that kind of thing. Or the Omni Knight. But TNC are just going to go all-out aggression. Get Spectre for Raven, pump it up with the Bloodlust. You've got Queen of Pain who packs a punch as well. This potentially moves the Clockwork into that offlane. And with
10
AA
seconds remaining.
still being left in the pool, you could potentially see TNC go down that direction with a, you know, heavy global long-range kind of artillery strat with Haunt, Ice Blast, and Hookshot.
Could be very interesting and very devastating as well, because it's very quick damage that can just come out of nowhere. Like, you have Vision, Clockwork hooks in, Queen of Pain blinks after with the nukes, Spectre comes in to clean up.
There's another potential here, is offlane Quap
10
for
seconds
Sam
remaining.
H. It's one of his classics, or one of his signature heroes from the beginning of TNC, basically. Raven, Spectre, and then you pick Tinker for Cuckoo mid, is another potential here to kind of play into that global, but it's that's much riskier.
We'll see, I mean, could still be that 4-position Clockwork and can go back for something like Nature's Prophet. Up against Sven, maybe not the best matchup. Because of the cleave, being able to take down all these screens, the extra armor that he gives and whatnot, but I'm actually going to see the Viper. Interesting.
I mean,
Like,
Nether Toxin now removes passives, right?
I believe so, yeah, it breaks.
10 seconds remaining.
Magic resistance applies break, but you don't get it anymore when you
5
take damage,
seconds
so
remaining.
it's going to change the matchup against the Queen of Pain in particular, so you can make use of that poison strike, right?
Sure, but like against a Spectre, being able to break Dispersion
Yeah.
as well as Desolate is pretty
Oh,
damn
yeah.
good. Like, it's such a unique characteristic for a spell to have. Usually it's an item that has it, but Bounty for TNC, so that what pushes Sam H Clockwork. Then they've got 2 melee kind of tanky roaming supports
Yeah.
between the Ogre and the Bounty.
Huh.
I can't believe no one picked Venno, no one picked Omni. Tinker is still in there, but look at the 3 heroes at the bottom, right? Nature's Prophet, Darkseer, and AA. All of them ignored. That's like bizarre for me.
That's the most bizarre thing. Venno maybe not so much because his talents took a pretty bad hit. You don't get that extra experience anymore, so it's the style, the play style that Venno has been played in the last patch is just not really as viable anymore. It's just much slower to get off the ground with these higher levels and the big plague wards as well. But yeah, we'll see. With the Bounty Hunter as well, they do have the potential to just make use of this aggressive strat and get a lot of money off of it to just snowball away from Mineski. I think that's the general idea behind that. Few TeamSpeak issues here as we get into game number 1 of this best of 3 series, TNC vs Mineski. An upper bracket match, so the loser will not quite be out of the tournament just yet. In fact, we'll see them again later today.
Up against Execration.
Execration, yeah, excuse me. We still have that match. And the winner of that, they'll be up against
Plays
Happy
against
Feet some
Happy
other
Feet,
time.
yeah.
Alright.
Happy Feet have had that nice little break until tomorrow.
They deserved it.
some interesting games over the past couple of days. Very, very interesting. So we're likely going to start seeing a lot more double wraith bands, especially on agility heroes. The fact that you kind of need Ring of Aquila, especially on a hero like Viper, heroes like Drow, Sniper, etc. With the double wraith band, one into Aquila, then one into the Hurricane Pike. Now they've changed the recipe for that.
Yeah.
So it's going to add a lot of laning power, which perhaps may have been skipped previously with older builds for those heroes. So it does make up for some of the lack of damage that you've lost that Nether Toxin with the kind of CSing ability, right? So the Wraith Band also makes up a little bit for it. So it's less of a with all things in Dota, you've got to look at things in balance, right? So there's a nerf here, there's a nerf there, but then you have this kind of buff here that makes up for the nerfs in some way or another.
With the Nether Toxin, or with the Corrosive skin now, it's on Nether Toxin, I guess. It also takes away from your ability to finish off towers, I believe. Because that extra damage is attached to the poison attack now, if I remember correctly. Oh.
Yeah, and you can't do that until what, level 20? Yeah. It's unfortunate. But yeah, it's more like a shifting of power than outright nerfs. Oh, look, they're all following each other. Mineski, you're actually following jabs. Ninja Boogie has self-control. Oh no, he's taunting. Never mind. Okay,
no self-control.
They've walked away now. No self-control. It's gone. He's taunting. He's in there. Still taking me a while to adjust to the fact that PMS and Iron Talon don't exist. So we've seen Mask of Madness Spectre before. Mushi played it the other day and seemed reasonably good, even without both of the removed items, which were so good on Spectre. The fact you could just fall back into the jungle and catch up through farming neutral creeps no longer exists to you. So getting your phase and your mum are very, very important stages of the early game.
Unless you want to go for the Vanguard builds, which still allows you to farm the jungle in terms of you not taking too much damage from the creeps, but it's still super slow without the Iron Talon for sure. Yeah, we'll see what they want to do now, because they're running in a bit of an aggressive fashion here with the Bounty and the Orca Magi. So triple melee lane against a Tusk who's blocking up the creeps. And,
but Mineski dodged this. Like, look at their lanes already. Sven and Scarth are bot lane. Ice Tusk is top. He's tanky with Stout Shield. Mango, he'll have Snowball or Shards to block them away.
Well placed indeed. Also might have actually taken quite a few more points of damage there.
This is not where TNC want to be. They want to be contesting the Sven.
Also on a Clockwork down here is being spammed out by Ninja Boogie. Now stunned up, extra damage. Using a mana.
Ice gives out the old affirmative. He's doing his job. Raven is farming nicely here, but you've got this bot lane. Sven is doing nicely. Viper's going to match up well against the Queen of Pain.
You're forced to go Blink level 1 here by the looks of it, Kuko. Still holding on to that extra point. Depending on what he needs. But yeah. Viper is still that lane dominating hero by the looks of it. Well played though.
Yeah.
Okay, actually got a snowball on Spectre. With quite a bit of damage to Raven with a dagger. You can just move across the trees, he'll be fine. His support's just moving out somewhere else for the time being with a bit of a side build there for 1437, and Tim's trying to find somewhere else to be effective. Getting all the way around towards the bottom lane, but can actually do anything here. Clockwork level 2, so you have the Battery Assault. But you kind of have to try and find the Skywrath, right? Oh, you got the Bounty Runes, so that works.
Did find him.
Chase him off.
Still only level 1. All the Venom not enough. Needs the Janada to really chase in on that. Now the Bounty's here, at least the Clockwork gets a lot more leeway. He gets a few CS under his belt.
Yeah.
I guess the mana burn there actually back onto Mushi, pushing Sven away. But Ricky so far has had a pretty free time, pressuring top lane, pushing Spectre back, getting Ice some experience and, a little bit of gold here and there. Tusk has hit level 3, but Jab spotted mid with a sentry, and Cuckoo not really going to be too perturbed by that.
He's level 2 now, so you can make the choice of going to the smoke screen or perhaps a blink strike in case you need to get closer for a last hit. But meanwhile, down bottom, yeah, they keep rolling. But at this point, 2 points up on a barrier assault. Wushi doesn't really have to damage a trade with that right now, despite all the creeps being around.
He has another salve and 5 stick charges. Just needs a bit of they need to bring like salve or clarities back down here, or a mango or something. It's pretty hard here for the old Sven. But this mid lane is bizarre. 9 and 13 Viper, 6 and 7 Cuckoo. They're so focused on denying each other that they're missing out on CS. Like, you look at the Spectre, 19-2.
Yeah, Raven's actually in a lot of trouble here. Did not have the Spectral Dagger. He was locked in by the shards for the longest time. Just right-clicking down.
Mid lane.
Mid lane is stunned onto the Viper. Look to try and get some revenge here, and looks like they will be successful. Perhaps made the rotation. Not a whole lot that he can do though, especially going for Blink Strike.
He tried to go for the deny, but the 2 points up in Shadow Strike. Viper died before Jabs could really get that last hit in to force the kill on the Viper. It's a nice rotation by TNC into that mid lane. You know, realizing that their Spectre's dying top, there's already been a commitment from the Dire into that top area.
They saw about to disappear, they had to dust it already. One Invis hero kills another. It's actually Ninja Boogie gets the last hit now. Also gonna get rid of some of these illusions. Another good catch though there from Mineski.
Clockwork is still pressuring Sven though. Like, sure, he's got 22 and 9, but it's not happy free farming Sven. This is a guy who's battling for every single last hit. You know, it's a lot of mental, you know, a lot of pressure on your brain. You know, a lot to think about. There's a big difference between having this free farm lane and the safe lane to having to, you know, actually outwit, outsmart your opponent. You're playing 2 mid laners here, basically.
Yeah.
The Viper against Quap, and then kind of Sven versus Clockwork, with the Scarth having to deal with the Bounty Hunter so often.
Bounty is up top. Raven is kind of in a similar situation. He's already taken a spill once and doesn't want to do that again. But Tusk alone, without mana, you can feel a little bit safer in the face of that. Especially with your 2 supports sitting behind you. They're looking to try and find an angle, but ISSI's not going to give it to them. Gap's going to go to try and confirm some of these movements.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bringing more heroes up. Ninja Boogie made the TP. But maybe try and find a pickup on somebody. Tim's also scouting the movement in. Kind of interesting how it works with 2 individuals both revealing themselves at the same time. Raven actually committing for the kill onto Ninja Boogie here with the extra bit of nuke from Tim's. Shots coming through, but doesn't actually get Raven. 1-for-1 trade so far. For support, and they're still brawling. ISIS gets stunned up. Raven still with the Desolate starting to kick in. Has the face boots already, so can stay close. Another dagger to work with. Body blocked by his own creeps. And Raven getting himself a double kill. 1-4-3-7. Oh, gets a stun of plenty of damage up on the Jabs. And he will fall too. 1-4-3-7 survives. Triple kill for the Spectre.
Mid lane.
It is bad news bears mid lane. Moon dies as well. Gonna trade for Cuckoo.
But Cuckoo gets the kill first. My goodness, TNC, what is happening? These fights are amazing somehow. I mean, the fact that Mineski are moving into this area in the top part of the map in this jungle. Retreat from okay, I didn't realize I could ping that. Interesting. But yeah, the bounty wasn't scouted. They had no idea. So they see the ogre and they're like, cool, we're going to chase this ogre, get this kill, force the Spectre to rotate. But the fact that bounty's there scouting the Skywrath and allowing the dagger to come across, the push forward gets that kill, which snowballs into more and more. And now Sven's being pressured even more bottom lane.
Does have a mango, does have stick charges to work with here for not trying to turn this around. Does have a stun to work with, gets it on 2. Cuckoo, not part of it here. Continuing with the right clicks. Poison still on him, and Tim's, he wants him. But he'll find Ninja Boogie instead. But hey, there's a Spectre. Raven just gonna snag it up, and now haunting forward towards Ninja Boogie. Another double kill for him. Jab's gonna try and trade, but Tim's actually revealing himself. And
oh, really?
Oh, so bold. No health points to work with on any one of these heroes. Bounty Hunter Tim still turning around.
Who had an amazing start. Was top of the CS, doing really well, died once and it looked maybe a little bit shaky, but Raven comes back with that first horn of the game, and does he show it off in style? Jeez, TNC, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Yeah.
Like Clockwork just runs straight forward. They've got the backstab from the bounty. Everything clicking into place here as they collapse onto this, weakened, wounded Mushi, the Sven who's been struggling in this bottom lane to keep his head above water, really. It's not all doom and gloom for Mineski, but these fights have been pretty tragic. They're just going to be fortunate, or should be happy that...
Mushi. It's going ham here. Queen of Pain also with all of the silences in the world can try and distract him down, but he still gets a chance to get the blink off. Started to fight against Jabs. He wants a banner rune, but that was a mistake. He will fall. Tim's going to try and make the trade. He will cancel the self at the very least, but he does not get enough damage out. This time Mineski one's with the upper hand in this trade. Raven at the very least gets out, can hold on to the killing spree.
Yeah, Mineski's going to be happy that the past couple of fights have been against a bounty who's not level 6 yet. It's that early in the game that we don't have track flowing, so it's, yeah, like I said, not all doom and gloom for them, but that fight, finally, Mushi gets in, he dies, he decided not to pop his ultimate as he was dying bottom lane, so he could TP back in and start this fight with a big god strength, but man, Jabs on this Ricky, smoke screen onto 2 people, making sure they can't just freely escape. The Qual, did have, Ancient Seal stacked on top of her as well, so it wasn't perfect from Mineski, but they still get the kills in the end.
Yeah. Can't help but think that was a bit of a misplay from Cuckoo because, because he did have Blink, he just, I think he wanted to get the bounty and he thought he was fast enough to get away from the right click, but Jab's able to get it off anyway. Maybe Cuckoo could have survived there, but it was a very hard situation to make that call. But yeah, now Mineski kind of stabilized with that a little bit. They technically have the net worth advantage, but the Spectre, it's always a bit scary when you see a hero like that that can do so much with the farm. Top lane, speaking of farm, they're gonna bring down the Tusk as well. Sam H was playing 1v1 up against Ice Slice a little bit earlier. Now with the help from Tim to actually finish up the kill.
There's actually no urn on TNC either. So that's another thing that Mineski can take away from this, is that there was no track and no urn. So all of those kills and all those fights that started stacking up, it isn't a Spectre with an urn or a bounty with one. There were no track kills, so there's always an opportunity to reset and just kind of get yourselves back on level footing. They are, like you said, farming reasonably well, and it looks like Ice is heading into a mech after Soaring Arcanes. So utility Tusk there. While Viper, we're still yet to see what Moon decides to go. I do know he's a big fan of the, Dragon Lance, the Hurricane Pike, but I'd love to see that Veil build again.
Yeah, I'm curious to see that as well. I mean, he's maxing out another Toxin, so he's definitely seeing the value in that reworked spell for sure. Now TNC smoked up as 3 behind Cuckoo. Have to make the wraparound play though. Yes.
Like just
the hookshot comes through. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that later. Mass teleports coming through. The fight is on. Nice little Sonic Wave. Now the Spectre coming in, trying to get rid of some of these heroes, but they're still healthy, sitting right on top of each other. They finally get one, but Raven, he's so slow. He has to dagger on out of there. Another nuke should not be enough to finish him off, but that eye shot's almost connecting. He turns around for a second, but Mineski, they lose their Viper, but massive rotations to meet this threat head on. Very successful this time around.
And meantime, Mushi pushes bot tier 1.
So
that wasn't even a 5v5, he wasn't a part of it, exactly. This is Mineski fighting with quick reactions onto that Viper, getting into that mid lane as quick as they could. The instant 2 TPs, both on this tier 1, allowed them to get in just in time to throw some spells into the mix, force Raven back. Now Haunt's on cooldown again, and Mineski got to feel pretty damn good about the way this game is going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look at the CS a sec, because Viper, 46 and 34. Then you look at the Queen of Pain, she was on like 25 or 26 CS not too long ago. Just clears through a couple of waves and will probably go back into the jungle for some more. But the Viper has been, last hitting and denying like an absolute madman. He's closing in on level 10.
Yeah. Level 10, level 7 on the Queen of Pain.
Oh, Mushi.
He's gonna get hooked. He should fall by all rights here. Same time up top, Raven trying to extricate himself of that situation. Shots will miss. Still have the phase effect going anyway, I believe. But yes, committing. They want to get him down, and they will do a significant amount of damage with a punch into the Mystic Flare. 4 heroes running him down, so it'll be a 1-for-1 trade across the map. who do you think this favors more, actually? Because both of these heroes kind of want their items.
Oh, I mean, the kill streak on Raven, taking that away, it goes to the Skywrath, which isn't the best, but it's still a lot of money going into the hands of Mineski. Sven had just finished his armlet, and his stack of Ancients didn't get stolen, so that's fine for him. You know, it is just a carry for a carry, but I think Mineski are going to be a little happier with the way things kind of pan out after the fact.
Alright. Both teams kind of try to stabilize again, top lane, pushing that. As a response, TNC is also pushing bottom, setting up on the side in case there's any sort of rotations coming through. Another hookshot available in a couple of seconds. Sam H. I actually find Mushi in the side. They have the vision from the early high ground war in this Saints, but Mushi turning things around. Sam H. Silence. It's not quite dead just yet though, and Tims will secure the kill with the extra help from Queen of Pain. Stuck in a bit of a smoke screen with the extra punch from Ice's Ice. He all beat a trade this time, so not as clean as TNC wanted that to have happened. And now Mineski, perhaps on hand for more. It's a bit of a miracle that Sam H survives that, honestly. But well,
Sam H on 50 HP, getting away. Track kill onto Mushi, but they trade the Queen of Pain, which slows her down, and her progression is not looking good at all. So. Yeah. Still not awful for Mineski. It's kind of sad they're being slowed down. And Sven, he shifts back up the top, goes to the safer lane to farm. But I just want to point out, Clockwork has Necrobook complete.
Oh wow!
Likely to be for that purge onto Warcry. I'm not sure what else they could use it for.
Right, they have purge now, don't they?
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Necronomicon. Is that
it's a level 3 archer gets purge.
I feel like you just get Helm of the Dominator and get yourself one of the small satyrs if that's your main concern.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's up with this.
Okay.
I guess against the Sven with no BKB yet. If he turns and faces the Clockwork in cogs, he's going to kill the big one.
Gonna go. The hookshot connects just as he cleans to the last creep. 4 heroes all of a sudden descending onto the Sven. This is what we were talking about in the draft. This very long range initiation, very quick ability to get close and make these quick kills happen. Once again on Mushi, they keep killing him, and does widen the gap between him and the Spectre. Raven down bottom now. Has to be a little bit more careful. Let's see. Doesn't see too many heroes just yet.
Now he knows Ice is here. Doesn't know about jabs though. I'm not sure about these two killing Raven. He's pretty tanky.
Should be fine. But for extra health region as well over the does less damage, so it's
okay.
just that much more DPS. Haha, he is. Happy Gareth.
Yes, very good. That's an A plus actually. Oh dear.
You distracted me. This is so I blame this T-Tours on Gary B.
+1, that's me.
Yeah. What's Cuckoo doing? He's skipping creeps. That's interesting.
I mean, they've been up here for a while. I wonder why they stuck around but also split themselves across 1 and 1 on this lane. I'm not sure if Sam H's death there was entirely necessary.
He stuck around there for a couple of seconds. He could have maybe found the courier. Not sure if he knew it was going there, but yeah, it's a little thing to slow down the top push. Whatever that's worth. And he's also trying to catch up in terms of farm. He's getting close to his own Clockwork at the very least. Mineski, how aggressive can they be? Okay. That was very quick.
That's how aggressive they can be. And they got tier 1 top. They're trying to collapse in onto jabs, but sentry not play. Oh, they scan. They get the sentry down. Here's the dust and the track.
I can't dispel the track and anything with the tricks or the trade, so he'll still end up falling eventually. That's another argument for the Necrobook, just having the true state available in the end for the Riki.
Yeah, I guess.
But isn't quite there yet, of course. But now, Ice. That's a snowball to try and delay things a little bit further, but There's a lot of heroes here from the Radiant side, but also from Dire tipping in. Mushi comes back with his own ultimate, focusing on the Ogre though. If he is the only one who dies, it's absolutely fine. Cuckoo gets stunned up, but now the hook shot onto 2, perfectly done to bring down the Tusk, but now sitting inside the Nether Toxin, inside the Mystic Flare. Cuckoo has to get himself out of there. The same for the rest of TNT. Tim's though, there's an Arcane Bolt following him, and that's enough to finish that job. 3 for 2 trade in the end or something in this mid lane. 3 for 1.
3 for 1, yeah.
3 for 1.
Again, Skywrath with that big Mystic Flare into the cogs, doing so much work onto Sam H. You know, he gets into battle, but he's immediately just, you know, neutered and mitigated there by 1 spell from this hard 5 support of Ninja Boogie. It seems so easy for TNC to get into fights, right? They blink forward, they Sonic Wave, they look to kill one. Ice has a mech now, though. He heals himself back up to like half HP, keeps the Sven pumping forward, and they just out-sustain TNC. All of this, you know, nuke damage, all this burst, the Veil on Quap, the Spectre with the Manta Style and the Dagger. It just wasn't enough through the mech. So they need to find more damage sources. They need the Queen of Pain and Spectre to scale super hard now. Or they need to go for these pick-off plays, but it's going to be hard with Mineski smoking and looking for that aggression themselves. Trying to pick 1 or 2 heroes out from a crowd here, when Mineski are going to group up as 4 or even 5, keeping the Viper down now. It's impossible.
Yep. Mineski's hitting this timing window where the Sven, if he actually gets right-click, if he's not the one immediately being killed, he can provide the damage that they need. You have a Viper, very tanky, as you said, with all the mechs, so they have tools available that allow them to take these type of team fights. Japs though, yeah. Again, he's also being mech'd up, so damage over time is not going to take him out. With extra control onto Cuckoo, now Raven comes in. He wants to get something, going for Ninja Boogie first. It's being silenced, but Manta styles it off. The hero already dead, and now trying to kite around the Vibe as much as they can, but Raven, well, recognizes, hey, that guy's alone, I can do desolate damage. I can kill him very easily. Break or no break. Time they get 2 kills. Mech used early, Sven not that ready, and this is how the teamfights can look differently. And the snowball in from Ice as Ice. Huge mistake here. Tims just drags him all the way back to the high ground. And
Quap dives in behind tier 3 to kill Ricky, yeah.
Oh, okay,
she just blinks in.
That's what happened.
He dodged the Shadow Strike with his ulti, but she just walked in and screamed again. Mineski's super spread out, so they weren't in that 5-man unit that I was talking about, and TNC really exploited that very, very nicely. You know, moving forward, they have the Spectral Haunt to come back in, focus the Skywrath first, so they've got this Clockwork open to just move and play aggressively. Queen of Pain and Bounty just kept on chasing and chasing. Once Mineski realized that they couldn't really stand and fight, they had to turn tail and run, but they're still just getting dived under tier 2 and tier 3 because they have this track, they have this blink. It looked so good for Mineski, you know, smoking, playing down towards bottom, looking for some kind of movement into the Radiant jungle, but they scrambled super hard, and you could tell that they were completely disorganized getting ready for that battle. TNC, on the other hand, you know, they snapped into action immediately.
Oh yeah. No hesitation whatsoever, just they pull the trigger, they focus on the easiest target first, which is pretty high value at this point. Ninja Boogie just dies immediately without getting too many spells off. Then focus on the next, and at that point, as you said, Mineski, they were scrambling, and they're all trying to just figure out, hey, where are they? Who's the real Spectre? Where do we have to move to take this team fight? And those just not fast enough. TNC. That's get themselves a 3k gold swing, about 4k experience here, according to the fight recap, and all of a sudden, that's the highest lead that we've had in this game so far in terms of gold and experience. I'll look to try and build on that. Spectre with Manta Style very early completed. Had the Radiance queued up for a moment, but now opting to go back for the Diffusal Blade. So, don't have the Purge anymore, but do still have the slow Cuckoo. Stun up, follow up there from Sven. This could be a really good kill, and it is indeed. Cuckoo with a killing spree, and they even get the Duster from Tims. Hook shot from Sam H. Taking his fight here to Mineski. Gonna lose Ninja Boogie. Japs actually coming into that, but throws on his ultimate. Another stun from Mushi. Will finish up the jaw onto Tims, and now Clockwork is in a lot of trouble. This game just keeps turning round and round and round. Raven came through with his ultimate again, but this time he was the one who was too late to make a difference.
Well, that little hiccup mid lane was because Mineski didn't group up as 5. They realized their mistake, they group up as 5, they push it into top lane, and they just easily, like, it was super easy, right? They just kill one, kill one, kill one, nice. They can't fight into us because we have Mech, we have Hood on our Tusk. He rolls in, we've got a tanky Viper with Veil and Maelstrom, and everything looks amazing for them.
Full Moon being slowed down. Raven wants to fight. I'm not sure about this one. This broken, tries to go away, but Snowball, well, we'll keep him in place for a little bit, but big charges, extra Bloodlust, barely able to make it back. Cuckoo trying to take over Japs. Down to half health. It needs some more damage. It needs some sort of action as well to try and figure out where he's at. Oh wait, is it gonna take out to this now anyway? No. It did not have to be denied, yeah. Pretty well done. TP will be cancelled here. Cuckoo gets on range with the Yule Scepter just on time. But at the very least, they get this Strackle on to ice. Eventually. There we go.
Did you say stop?
This is some true SEA Dota right here. Kills everywhere. A lot of back and forth. But,
and of course, someone's staying around a little bit too long in top lane, so they get chased. Just normal stuff.
TNC. To get something else off of this, they will break down Roshan very, very fast. Mineski now, they have to stare into the face of Raven, who is holding an Aegis, so they can feel even more comfortable going forward, going in heavy into these fights. Clockwork has a Necro 3 completed, so now you can look towards perhaps a Blade Mail if you want to counter out the Mystic Flare and take the Scourge Mage with you into the grave, essentially. Or perhaps a Force Staff to just dodge it.
And Raven delaying that Radiance a little bit, realizing he needed to fight a little bit more earlier. Still gets the Diffusal Blade after Manta on the Spectre. And still a nice little item with Desolate and that Mana Burn.
Dire's top tower is
Really
under
high
attack.
value damage for many heroes, especially Illusion heroes with
Mushi has Blink. This is the next step. Mushi Blink
Gonna go on Raven
BKB, Mask of Manus Armlet.
Raven gets out of the silence, follow-up is definitely Ninja Boogie. They track him down. Let's see, Aegis out. He doesn't actually have the dagger, but he's bouncing around.
They're hunting Sven. Mushi on the back is caught.
Yeah, wow, yeah, they actually scout him out super alone. Mushi will actually be bursted down. Rest of his team still in a cohesive unit. They're gonna try and take this fight. Oh, Yule Scepter from Queen of Pain, dodging the Mystic Flare. Crucial. Jabs still in the middle of that. He'll be bursted down next. And just going from one target to the next. Tusk. Nowhere to run.
Mushi was tunnel visioning super hard there. So they catch the Spectre, they take the Aegis, and Spectre respawns and uses a Haunt.
Yeah.
And it took about a second or a second and a half, and then Raven realized, or got the call from one of his teammates, that Mushi was, a good 2,000 range away, just near this bounty rune spot, with no teammates nearby. So they immediately make the snap decision, jump on the Sven, and Mushi, I'm so sure he was like watching bot, he was looking for where he's initiating, waiting for him to blink, because he didn't use BKB. There was a window for him to BKB and potentially ulti, turn around and fight, allow for his team to come in, but it's just one of those, such a fast action that has happened that you didn't have time to adjust your camera, didn't have time to think about what's happening, and again, TNC just so quick off the mark to really abuse that.
Bit of damage to tier 2 as well. Couple of fortifications here, or too much of that. Cuckoo. Oh, he's one low ground. Cannot get the blink out though. The silence, the roots not coming through. Just the minus armor for now. Mushi will punish that transgression. He will try to.
Is under attack.
The one time you want the Prowlers to help you, it doesn't work.
Of course not.
Where does this leave us now? TNC, they're built the
7K
gold lead up to a
ahead.
ridiculous amount, but there's still a Sven with a decent amount of net worth. He's not exactly where he needs to be, which would be like a couple of thousand gold ahead, but he, as I said, he does have the blink, he does have that blacking bar, he does have 3 points up in God Strength, which is a lot of damage if you can get it on target. Can they still find these type of fights though?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at this net worth lead and you can pretty much attribute it to Bounty Hunter. He's had just tracks flowing out in all of these really scrappy, messy fights where TNC have found a couple of pickoffs here and there. So he's managed to get himself Force Staff and Spirit Vessel, some nice little utility items. Clockwork has the Necro 3 and a Blade Mail now, moving into that Force Staff. So mobility and kind of teamfight control is there from TNC, but Mineski still have, like you said, that brute force of the Sven. This gem might change things from the bounty, because I was just about to move on to say that Jabs with his scouting role, he's pretty poor. Doesn't have Diffusal Blade. We're closing in on the 30-minute mark, and this Ricky really doesn't have too much to write home about. Yep. And he does have to start scaling and doing damage. He needs, he's going to need a Diffusal Blade, a gem, Blink Dagger, because we can't just rely on this Viper with magic damage to deal with, Queen of Pain and a Spectre. Especially when Spectre has BKB now. Skips the Radiance again. Raven just wants to keep fighting. Like, he's indicated from his items, going Yasha, then into Manta, then Diffusal, then BKB. Radiance is getting delayed, and bot lane, they're going to set up onto Moon.
Perhaps Ice is Ice. Nice target to bring down, but Mineski just smoked up themselves behind that. Gonna try and do something here. Ultimate comes up, but you need to find a target. TNC didn't really commit for it until just now. There it is. Spectre coming through, looking for the backlines. Minimal stun, but Tim's is so far away with the 4 staffs. Meanwhile, the backlines just go ham. They kite around the Sven. Only now popping his BKB. Finally focusing on Raven, but he's pretty fast on his feet. Will be able to boogie on out of there. Only lost the Clockwork so far, and they're continuing to kite Mushi, Jabs. Next on the list, they have the Necro Creeps to finish him off. 4-man wipe, follow-up stun there with the multicast. And it's an absolute disaster. TNC. Amazing how they took that team fight, honestly.
Yeah, Quap baits the snowball, blinks it away, drags Isis in, so the mech carrier is removed from the fight. They kill him off relatively early on, then they chase in the Viper. Couldn't really do anything against the Blade Mail and these Necro units inside the cogs. Clockwork soloed the Viper. 1v1 that Viper. Just removed 12k net worth out of the game immediately. Yeah. So then you're left with Sven and Ricky, basically, because Skyrath got immediately blown up by the Spectre Manta style. Everything was just well timed, mechanical from TNC in that team fight in particular.
Even Tim's, Mineski, they finally made the call. Alright, let's just go on a bounty and try and burst him down first. But there was at least one 4-staff involved. He spread out to the left-hand side down here while the Stormhammer was following him. So even that, just the work of kiting, just making sure that Sven cannot actually even get a single kill, because he has to decide which way do I go, and then the moment he turns to face one direction, they're just walking away from him because they're all super fast. They have 4 staffs. Just the age-old dilemma of Ben not being able to get on target. Mineski as a result in a lot of trouble right now. 30 minutes in, 14k net worth disadvantage. Spectre's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Raven might finally decide to finish the Radiance now. And,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, he has as much farm as he would have if he just went Radiance and AFK.
He's gonna buy a BK. He's gonna buy a butterfly or something now.
Butterfly or hearts. Or level 20, so you get the plus 500 health. Thank you, enough for his purposes for the time being, anyway. 30% spell lifesteal available on the Quap of Pain. The Cuckoo has recovered quite nicely, almost matching the Sven in terms of nerf. We're holding a gem for now. That was the one that Tim's dropped earlier.
Scream of Pain, 1.5 second fear, or 20 seconds spell block. Those are pretty interesting talents on the Queen of Pain, to be honest. Oh man.
Oak shot in the middle of that. Queen of Pain's still alive. Raiden comes in with a BKB and odds and everything. There's fighting. There's one big blob. The Cuckoo. Actually, that was dodged by the snowball. So only now, if one falls, Mushi tries to get close to Sam H. But once again, he's being kited around. It's only Mineski heroes who are dying one by one the moment Raven and Cuckoo decide to focus on them. 4 years down, ultra kill for the Queen of Pain. Sven Mushi resigned to his fate. Give him the rampage. Oh no, Tim's
no.
What was that? Damage over time from the urn or something?
I must have been, or a bouncing shuriken
maybe
or
sure
something.
It does, yeah.
Well, TNC, they show off their last fight in style. Jabs calls GG. Yeah, 22k net worth lead, 32 minutes in. They just executed so beautifully in the last 10 minutes or so.
No argument there. TNC